These are my speaking notes. Imagine being so excited to go to a music festival that you've been hearing about on the radio for weeks, only for the festival to turn into a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Today, let's talk about Woodstock, the music festival that many people recall as unforgettable. When I was in high school, I took a class called Hippie History, where I learned about a music festival called Woodstock and the impact it left on the world in the 1960s. Many people have been to a concert or music festival once or twice in their lives, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that can recall these experiences as memorable. Today I would like to look at what Woodstock is, who was at the event, and what the goal of Woodstock was. Even though the original Woodstock Music Festival occurred almost 55 years ago, you might be wondering why people still talk about it today. Let's dive into what Woodstock was. Woodstock was a huge rock and roll music and art festival that occurred in 1969. The festival began on August 15th of 1969 and was said to be a 3-day event. Woodstock is commonly known for being one of the largest and most memorable music festivals of the 1960s. In order to understand what Woodstock was, we must first look at who the creators of Woodstock were. According to the 2019 news article, 5 Things You Did Not Know About Woodstock by Victoria Weston of the University of Florida, the creators of Woodstock, named Michael Lang, John P. Roberts, Joel Rosenman, and Artie Kornfeld, were oblivious to how big of an event Woodstock would become to past and present generations. These men created a company called Woodstock Ventures Incorporated to help promote the event as a way of bringing peace during a lot of the historical events that occurred during the 1960s. A significant feature of the original Woodstock Music Festival was where the location of the venue was at. Clyde Parton noted in his 2020 journal, Peace, Love, Healthcare, and Irony at the 1969 Woodstock Music Festival, that the creators of Woodstock located a venue on Max Yager's land only 1 month before the opening day of the festival. Max Yager's land was located in Bethel, New York, only 40 miles away from a town called Woodstock, which is where the name of the festival came from. Woodstock was a huge festival, so you might be wondering who attended this festival to make it so significant. The musical performances and attendees are why the festival is still remembered today. Many people attended Woodstock as a way of enjoying music and peace. The number of people who attended played a huge role in the significance of the festival today. Andy Bennett noted in his 2020 journal, The Spirit of Woodstock in the Post-Risk Era, that the event was originally attended for 50,000 people. However, over 400,000 people attended. Throughout the festival, numerous musicians performed. According to the 2019 press release, USPS commemorates iconic music festival with Woodstock stamps, published by the United States Postal Services. Woodstock highlighted more than 30 performers such as Jimi Hendrix, The Grateful Dead, The Who, and many more. Jimi Hendrix also performed his own version of the Star-Spangled Banner, which is highly remembered today. Even though the musical performances and attendees were a huge role in the significance of the festival, Woodstock is remembered for other reasons as well. Let's consider the goals the creators of Woodstock aspired to achieve. Throughout the 1960s, there were many monumental historical events that occurred. According to the news article, More Than Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll, Woodstock's Political and Cultural Events by Peter Kropf from the University of Pittsburgh, the 1960s had several significant events that occurred, such as the Civil Rights Movement, the Vietnam War anti-war movement, and several assassinations. These events made a huge impact on American history throughout past and present generations. When constructing the plans for the festival, the creators aspired to create a peaceful environment where people could go to enjoy music. The historical events in the 1960s made people want to come together as a counterculture against all the rising events. Woodstock was a place where people could come to feel love, peace, and unity. Throughout this speech, I hope many of you have learned about the festival that will always be remembered forever. Overall, Woodstock was a huge festival in the 1960s that aimed to create an environment full of peace, love, and many high-profile musicians and attendees. Festivals and concerts are very memorable experiences for anybody that has ever had the opportunity to participate in one. As Richie Havens once said, Woodstock was both a peaceful protest and a global celebration.